So today has been a very good day for us here at GRASSMEN. We have came all the way to Carlow and we're joined now with Adrian from Tanco. Adrian, tell us a little bit about Tanco, because I'm going to come straight in here and say I personally wasn't just expecting to see such a well-run, organised, clean, and dare I say it without coming across as ignorant, big factory.
Thank you. First of all, welcome to yourself and all the grassmen and ladies, and thank you for coming. Welcome to Carlow, County Carlow, which is the, we would like to say, is the agricultural manufacturing capital of Ireland. There's been a lot of, all that stuff came out of the sugar factory and beef and armour salmon, all some really good companies. So there's a lot of good engineering going on here in County Carlow. So Tanco's been here quite a while. We're based in Bagnallstown, which is in Carlow, South Carlow. Basically, the company has had many iterations over the years, always innovating, always looking for new ideas. The big product for Tanco was probably in the first part of, let's say, the 80s and late 70s, early 80s was front loaders. And that was a big market. We had probably 90% of the market. It's a family business today, and my father bought the business from Townsend and Cox, and that was probably in 1996. And so he pretty much saw that the loader business was there was basically the larger, like the Elhos and the Trimas were kind of being merged together, and so he sold that business to Trima, a German company at the time, which then merged with Alho. So we had a bale wrapper business. Tanco was making bale wrappers since the 80s, and we're quite early in that period. So what happened was we actually merged with a company in 2003 called Telestyle, who were very big into three-point linkage bale wrappers. So that actually opened up the markets internationally for the company. So interestingly enough, and that's probably why a lot of people, when they talk about Tanco here in Ireland, it's not a big name that you would associate with other large manufacturers. But we focus a lot on the export side. So through our distribution, some very good customers, we've managed to actually grow the business quite successfully over the last 20 years in the bale wrapping area. So business, thank you for noticing. We put a lot of work into streamlining our business. And so today we have a good platform for growth, and that's the plan, is to grow the business, and scale up.
And I mean, just talking us around the actual facility here, we have all the fabrication, which is in the shade next door here, and right down to, you have a couple of robotic welders.
Right.
You have a team of welders right down. You're on your shop blasting.
Right.
Talk us around the process, because ultimately we're in an assembly line here now.
Right, we're in an assembly line. So this is the final assembly. It's our bale wrappers are made on these two lines here. In our fabrication, as you mentioned, we basically take the raw material in. We don't do any lasering here. We actually outsource all that in. So many years ago we decided we're just going to start focusing on taking in, tacking up our machinery, and basically putting it through the production process. So welding, we start off with the welding process through our jigs. We do shot blasting, 2-pack coat system, and then we basically everything from once it's welded, it goes up onto these lines that you see behind me. So once it's welded, it gets hung up on these lines, and it doesn't leave until it's finished at the end of the assembly line. So basically we've got 3 lines in total in terms of assembly. And so as I said, these are two wrappers, and then we have an implement line at the back. So we manufacture our famous bale shear out there. So that's been a big product for us. You mentioned the robots. We got the robots to help with the demand that we had of the bale shears when we first brought that product to here. So we do right throughout the process, from welding right through to assembly, and then testing. Everything is tested and sent out for dispatch.
Yeah, and you build everything together to test it, and then the guys out in the distribution hall over here have to take it all apart again to get them into containers.
Yes.
But that's...
Thank you for pointing that out. That's true.
Have to be honest.
And the guys in dispatch remind me of that point every day. Say, why did you put that wheel on to take it off again? Or why did you put that on to take it off again? Because look, basically we have to make sure everything goes together, it's tested correctly, our measurements are spot on. So the last thing I want to do is that, we have an axle here that hasn't been actually assembled on the machine. And then, so the reason we take them apart is because a lot of our stuff gets shipped all over the world. So Brazil, Australia, New Zealand, Korea, Japan, and then Europe is more low Euroliners, etc. So we don't have to take them apart as much. But when we go into a container, you're taking it and you're stacking up 3 high. So there's a lot of work involved in that for sure.
And you just mentioned Korea there.
Right.
That's one of your largest overseas markets, am I right?
100%, yeah. Korea's been a very important market for Tanco. I would say we probably have about 90% of the market there
Wow.
in bale wrappers. It's a big market. The country is only about the size of Ireland, but yet they've got about 50 million people. So you can imagine you're literally, the fields that our machine are used in are quite small. It's all rice straw. And you're literally, you're seeing wrappers right up, and then you see a skyscraper right next to that. So there's 2 seasons over there as well. So that's hence there's a lot of the machines go through. It's a great testing ground. When we make new equipment, we send it to Korea, and it's a really good testing ground because it put them through their paces. That's for sure.
You as a company, and I have to take my hat off to you. It's not just what you know and do so well, and I'm talking about the bale.
Yep.
You've brought on board the mower, which we're going to work with and have a play with, for want of a better word. But the mower, that's a big project to be bringing on.
Sure.
And you have you've made a lot of changes to that product over the years. Is that where it's going to stop, or what's next?
No. So the mower is literally just is basically taking the platform that we've built here now in terms of the Tanco wrappers and what we've done in that, and we know that we can compete with the best in the world out there because we're doing it all over the world. And so with the mowers, we're saying, right, grass is a big commodity. We're going to make sure that when we get into the field, we're going to start the process, which is why the mowers come in, and then we're going to start over the years as we innovate. We're going to look at new ways of actually harvesting grass and getting it into the farm for feeding out to the cattle, and doing that in the most efficient way and capturing as much information as we can, using data, using technology as we can to feed that back into the farmer or contractor to help them make better decisions in the future.
Absolutely, and we're not going to say too much about it at this stage, but all I'm going to say is a massive watch this space. There's some very exciting stuff happening behind the scenes here, and I can tell you here and now that's what it's all about, because agriculture is becoming harder and harder, and margins are tighter and tighter, and efficiency going forward is the key. And that's one of the things you see in the mowers, and that's one of the reasons you're running with the system that you have.
100%, yeah. So again, it's about, like, I run a business here in Tanco, so I see our customers are also running a business. So for us, collecting information, collecting data, and efficiencies is very important. And so I know that for my business. I know it's so important for other businesses too. So we try and use, I suppose, our know-how and knowledge in that, and figure out how can we make the systems like the mowers out there, for example, more efficient in the field to deliver savings effectively for the customer.
Well, look, thank you very much for allowing us to come down and take a look. I just want to say, on a personal level, your factory here is lovely. It's the cleanliness, the friendliness of all the staff, and wish you many more years, continued success. And I want you to keep us in mind for the wee secret project about this data gathering, because it's very, very exciting.
Absolutely, 100%. Thank you very much for coming down. We appreciate having you.